Alright, so today's video might be a little unpopular.
I agree.
Might make you feel a little uncomfortable.
That's what we're good at.
Which you're good at. Might be a little controversial.
Oh, for sure.
But if you open your mind and hear us through, I think by the end of the video, I think you'll kind of understand where we're coming from and the point we're trying to make.
Yeah, relate.
Yeah.
I think there's some things that you can relate to, whether personally or through somebody else.
Absolutely. And this video is about the downside of QDM, of quality deer management.
Yeah, there was a time where if you would have said that, even let's say 20 years ago, I would have, everybody that I know would have just called you out and you're an idiot and blah, 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 but it's 2022.
Yeah.
QDM, the philosophy, I strongly feel, and I think you do too, is got stolen.
Yeah.
The meaning behind it got stolen. So with that being said, that leads us to today.
Yeah.
And if I was to tell you, Cody, ask you, what is one of the things that, in our conversation, what would be one of the things that you see that is the downside of quality deer management?
I think a lot of people who practice QDM, I think they do it for the right reasons, but I think they kind of get sidetracked and think that QDM is only and all about killing a big deer, killing a big buck, which that's not what QDM is all about. And in the process, whether you realize it or not, hunting becomes less enjoyable for you because you get so singularly focused on that goal and doing whatever you can to accomplish that goal that hunting becomes less fun.
Yeah, I know personally that would probably be one of the big things.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have you gotten a text from me going, why am I here? Why am I here? No, it sucked. There's so much pressure I put on myself that it's not enjoyable. Yeah. And I miss that. Yeah. I miss that so much, that thrill that you get to experience, and I have to get there. And I think a lot of us, honestly, I mean, how many times have you heard somebody go, hey, I wish I could go squirrel hunting again. Yeah. I'd love to shoot a squirrel. I'd love to go coon hunting again. I would love to do X, Y, and Z again. Yeah. Well, hey, the only thing keeping you from doing that is you. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you got to find the fun in it again, because I know you see it, I see it, we talk about it quite a bit, getting that fun back into quality deer management.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think most people, the metric by which they measure their management, their QDM success, is whether or not they kill a mature deer or that big buck they have on camera. Yeah. And if you're honest with yourself, more times than not, you're not going to accomplish that goal. No. A neighbor might, and a family member might. He might just disappear and you never know where he ends up. But if that's how you judge your success, then you're going to be unsuccessful more times than not. And that's going to wear on you. It's going to make the process less fun. It's going to exhaust it. It's going to make you just tired of the whole thing and kind of make you resent it a little bit.
Good word.
Absolutely. Yeah. And QDM, it's a lifestyle that's meant to be enjoyed. It's about enjoying the whitetail deer, the animal, the deer hunting lifestyle. And I think if you're not careful practicing QDM, if you're doing it for the wrong reasons, not how QDM was intended to be practiced, it can make hunting less enjoyable for you. Yeah. So I think for the next direction we'll go with this, it's again kind of the opposite of what QDM was intended to be, which QDM is about improving the health and quality of the whitetail deer and the habitat in which they live. Mm-hmm. And again, I think some people I think it goes back to honestly confusing QDM with TDM, trophy deer management, and trying to kill that biggest buck in the woods. You're actually doing more harm than good. You're retroactively managing your deer herd. Yeah. One of the principles
of quality deer management is herd management or harvest management. Yeah. Or herd monitoring, and it goes on. But again, it goes to managing your herd. Right. Okay, and that is shooting an adequate amount of does. Yeah. Okay, based on your property and the habitat, the carrying capacity, etc. Now, back in the day, I think a lot of us could say, and you fall into that generation, where QDM was shooting an adequate amount of does. Yeah. It was just a little food plot stuff. It was about food plots. It was about the native vegetation, learning how to do TSI. Look at the stuff that Craig Harper, taught us. Yeah. And, and then also shooting adequate amount of does and passing up those younger class deer. And then after you passed up a year and a half, the definition became about you. Right. If it was a 2-year-old, great. If it was a 3-year-old, it was great. It was based about you, but the principles were there. Today, I think it's all about it's about planting food plots. It's about really forcing yourself to even harvest a doe. Think about that. And then shooting a 4, 5, 6-year-old buck.
Yeah.
I mean, downplaying a 3-year-old. I hear it all the time. I understand, we know a lot of people that are there, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But to put the QDM label on it, no.
Yeah.
No.
I think this is a topic that actually, it bothers me quite a bit, honestly, because we mentioned losing track of what QDM is about, which is managing the herd, that in the process we've kind of diminished certain animals. It's just a doe. It's only a year and a half. Well, he's just a 2-year-old. I'm after a 150. Well, he's only a 140. And every deer is meant to be enjoyed. You shouldn't have to feel obligated to shoot a doe. If you're practicing QDM, you should want to go out and do that, because it's an important part of the philosophy. It's an incredible learning tool. It's meat in the freezer, if that's your thing. And
if you want to consistently have the opportunity to harvest those older class whitetails, you got to do some homework. You got to do some boots on the ground. You got to do more than food plots. You got to do it's more about passing up a 3-year-old to shoot that 4-year-old. You got to harvest. It's managing your deer herd.
Right.
And that doesn't mean just your harvest aspect of it. It just means everything.
Yeah.
To consistently have that opportunity.
QDM, again, is about the deer. It's about the white-tailed deer. It's about that individual animal. It's about the herd. It's not about you.
No.
Remember why you did this in the first place. It's to improve the quality of these animals.
One thing else that we talk about quite a bit, and actually see, whether it's on social media or someone that we know personally or even heard of, is QDM. Since it's this new version of it, I think it's stealing people's time. It's stealing people's finances. You're doing things outside your means.
You feel like you have to keep up with the Joneses.
Yes.
You see, guys on social media or TV shows or outdoor writers or whoever, successfully harvesting these big deer and growing beautiful food plots, and everything's just clicking for them, and you feel like you have to do what they're doing. So you feel like you need a big tractor and a big drill or a big box blind or a certain type of camo. You feel like you need all these toys to make a difference, which absolutely is not the case. We talk about wildlife management being an art form, and QDM is the exact same. QDM it's an art form. It can be whatever you want it to be, and whether you've got 1,000 acres and all the cool toys, or you've got 100 and just a little 4-wheeler and a weed eater to scratch out a little food plot. Every difference you make is a positive difference, and anything your best foot forward is different from everybody else's.
Remember this. Cody talks about it in last episodes, measuring that success. What is that definition? And, especially in today's society, let's talk about it for 2 seconds. It's harder to have that savings, and with gas prices, all this stuff, and fertilizer costs, chemical costs, glyphosate. Oh my gosh. You got to take something out of your savings to buy it, just for a gallon. What are we doing? So, just doing things outside your means, no man, reel it in. QDM, again, make it about wildlife. Find that initial burn, that flame that got you involved in it.
Absolutely. Remember why you got started in the first place. You didn't get started because you wanted to have a John Deere tractor. You got started because you planted a food plot and you saw it grow and you saw deer use it, and that was exciting for you. And you can plant a successful food plot with a big tractor and a no-till drill. That's an option. Or you can plant it with a 4-wheeler and a chain link fence for your drag harrow. And both accomplish the same thing, and both can give you that satisfaction that I made a positive difference for wildlife.
If your food plots are weedy, who cares? It's for wildlife. We're not harvesting this. It's for what? Because if there's a ragweed in there, guess what? Songbirds can utilize it come fall and winter. The seed. It's not a big deal. We talk about it, but we say these words, do what you can with what you have where you are. Live that. Live that. Who cares? I don't walk in your shoes. You don't walk in mine. I don't have your checkbook. You don't have mine. Who cares? It's your family. You know, it's your kids. I can tell stories all day. The financial hard times that people go through just to manage, to put forth in even a food plot.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, remember why you did it in the first place. It was that feeling of excitement and that feeling that you're making a difference for wildlife. Yeah, you just mentioned family members, and that'll lead us into our next topic, and it's a really unfortunate one. Actually, probably the most sad of all these possible downsides of QDM, and that's fractured relationships that you see happen, whether you've experienced it yourself or you see it on social media. But it becomes, I don't know, again, I think QDM has become confused with something that it's not, and it's all about killing this big deer. And you may be a member of a hunting club or share your property with family and friends, and you get this picture of this nice big buck October 1st, and it feels like it's a race to see who can shoot it first. And in the process, you ruin relationships, whether obviously you don't do it on purpose.
No,
but it's an unfortunate side effect that happens more than we'd like to admit.
I think all of us could either we know somebody that's gone through this, or ourselves.
Yeah.
I mean, close-knit family members. You know, I've seen divorces over this stuff. Think about that, a divorce. I've best friends since they were little. So now they're 40. They don't talk to one another over one specific buck. That story is fantastic. You know, and I've seen it. I see it all the time. They really do, the fractured relationships, and this we have to remember. And I know it's not cool to say, but it is just a deer.
It is just a deer.
Absolutely. You know what? You shoot a 180, you might, you know what? You might go to Buckeye Big Buck Club in Ohio and get a little award, and you get your 10 minutes of fame. But that person walking down the street don't give a shit.
No, absolutely.
They don't even know. You know, no one cares.
That's the thing. Yeah, we get so wrapped up on it that even if you are the lucky guy and you do get the deer yourself, then I mean, nobody, when you're walking down the street or you meet, you don't introduce yourself as, "Hi, I'm Cody. I'm the killer of a 10-point, 150-inch deer."
I think you should start.
Maybe I will.
That'd be cool.
But it is. It's just a deer. And an important thing I think to remember is the QDM lifestyle. It's best enjoyed with other people. With your friends, with your family members, as a member of a hunting club. Like, you know, I don't plant food plots by myself. I plant them with my dad. I run the chainsaw in the winter with my dad. I do hang tree stands with my brother. It would be less fun if I did it by myself.
I do it.
You do it by yourself.
I do it all by myself, and it goes to the first topic. Why don't Eric want to deer hunt anymore?
Right.
Because I do it all myself.
Absolutely.
I'm not fracturing anything. And it's funny. You know, when quality deer management co-ops were really strong, especially in this state. I mean, there's like 16 plus, and maybe some we didn't even know about. They were rocking and rolling. But when someone did shoot that unicorn, that big buck that everybody was after, I mean, they would meet at the person's house, and everybody was, I mean, as many people that could make it made it, and everybody knew that they had a hand in making this deer what it was. Whether it was safety, whether it was food, bedding. Everybody played a role in a co-op, and to stand back and look at people's faces and the shakes and the handshakes, and they were genuine, awesome. I just didn't draw the lucky straw today.
Right.
You know. But that's it. It's just, man, it is. We need to real. If we're ruining a relationship, we need to reel it in.
Exactly. QDM. It's about the community. It's about camaraderie, and it's a team effort. And teamwork makes the dream work.
I like that.
I do too. All right, so some of what we discussed, I think most people are probably a little bit familiar with, whether you've seen a fractured relationship with a buddy, maybe you've experienced yourself, hopefully not. Maybe as we talked through hunting becoming less enjoyable, maybe it clicked in your brain like, oh yeah, mate, I've experienced a little bit of that myself, or I know somebody who you can tell it's a little less fun for them than it used to be. But this last one, you brought it up as we were preparing for this video, and it's something that I hadn't considered, and I think it's a really important, if not the most important, and that's the privatization of wildlife. That's the elephant in the room. The other ones are more personal. You know, about yourself, trying to fix yourself, if you will, if there is a problem.
But this one here, privatization of wildlife, is a blanket.
Yeah.
I mean, that affects everybody. And I know, let's just take Ohio, for example. There's not one thing that's actually shut more doors, and that is the QDM, not the old QDM.
Yeah.
The new QDM, the new face of it. But let's just say QDM. It has shut more doors. To knock on a door in Ohio, can it still be accomplished to get permission to hunt? Yes.
Yeah.
But it has increased land value. It has increased leasing value. I mean, we talk about recruiting. Mm-hmm. You know, there's a program called the R3. It's trying to get people, not just kids, but adults as well, to get them back into hunting or teach them how to hunt, as well as people who left hunting and want to come back. Yeah. We forget about those people. Mm-hmm. But we encourage people to do that. But again, it's the elephant in the room. Where are we going to put people once we get them? Right. You know? And so that is the big thing. I mean, a lease, you know, I know, I've experienced it. A lease, a piece of paper, it can be thrown away. It means nothing, you know? It's just, again, land value has increased because of bigger bucks and stuff. And again, it's like we talk about squirrel hunting, we talk about coon hunting, we talk about even, I mean, whatever species you want to go hunt. There's somebody going to be deer hunting that property, and I'm happy that you're going in there and shooting a limit of squirrels. Right. Okay, that cat is upset that the landowner let you do that. Right. You know, so what you'll do is you'll lease it, you'll do this, you'll do that, and then you're forced to go onto a public hunting area, a state area, or federal land, and we know the positives of that, and we know the negatives of that. For sure. Okay. Yeah. So then that might just totally kick you out. Yeah. I mean, I was real quick. I mean, I remember a guy at the grocery store had the Drummelog Wildlife Management shirt on. He asked me what it was. I told him what it was, and he was like, "I used to rabbit hunt, but I stopped rabbit hunting because I don't have any place to go." Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, because of the deer hunting thing. Yeah, that QDM philosophy. That QDM philosophy. Yeah. So that's one thing. Out of all the other ones that we've talked about, that one to me is the most important. Yeah. We have to be, but how do you fix that? Of all the ones, the rest, a lot of those are fixable. For sure. Yeah, like you said. I mean, there's not one that we can't fix. They're more personal. You can find a solution to those and work towards them. This is a big one because it affects us all. How do you fix that? Yeah. And that's something where, I mean, I don't know if you can. I mean, it's going to take some smart people to come up with a plan, but I don't know. I don't know. And that's one thing now, I think QDM, it just became something that it wasn't. Mm-hmm. And this was one of the causes of it. Yeah. Right, wrong, or indifferent. Exactly. Yeah. So that's the big thing. Through all this that we talked about, not one time did we bash quality deer management. No. I love the philosophy. It's what made me. Yeah. It's everything about you. Yeah. It's everything about you, the ones that do practice this philosophy. Yeah. We just got to get back to the founding thing. When Joe Hamilton, when he created the Quality Deer Management Association, there was a couple things even before that, but back to those things where it was about management of your habitat, management of wildlife. Right. You know, before it became this thing that's created all these little tiny hiccups. Right. Exactly. Hiccups. Yeah, it's become unrecognizable, and this video, again, it's not about pointing fingers, it's not about placing blame, it's just kind of presenting you with some problems that we've seen to kind of get your mind working to hopefully work towards some solutions to those problems. Like we mentioned, most of them are personal, you know, that you can work towards if you're experiencing them yourself. The last one, the privatization, that's more of a bigger picture thing. But if nothing else, it planted a seed in your mind that can hopefully grow and evolve your mindset. And I don't know, like you mentioned, QDM is very near and dear to both of our hearts. We want to see it continue. We want to see it in its best possible form. And this video bringing you aware of these problems is just a step in that direction. Yeah. But well said. Well, hey, just as it is for us, I'm sure it is for you. Wildlife is our way of life.